alone.
Yeah.
That's
This
not an
week
alibi.
on My
You
Time
had
to
make
Talk.
sure that day you had some busy day.
Yeah, do you get what I mean?
You're spotted on CCTV.
Right? And they'll be like, so why wasn't you buying hers?
I love my parents. This is when we knew she was lying.
This is where I'm saying that it's advertised as that outlet, because at this point in time, it's like you're saying, oh, okay, yeah, there's all these young people on the street doing knife crime and blah, 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 blah. Why are we not directing them to find themselves in a library where there's no negative for you to read these stories?
Congratulations to Ruby Jackson, who is a student midwife who's created an app called Melanatal.
Been prevented within the first few months of pregnancy. You know, it is traumatic. It is a traumatic time.
God, can you imagine? Oh yeah, I'm a woman, because you can't say woman. It's
I'm
a
a
deceased
pregnant woman.
I'm a pregnant woman,
Not if
and my
you-
husband's at work.
Oh,
my
Lord.
God, that's awfully great time. Oh
I believe the reason that Marcellus Williams especially was executed is because they didn't want the hell of a lawsuit that would have ensued if he was allowed to live.
It is.
But yeah, so it's going all right then.
It's going alright. It's not too bad, because like every time it's my time to talk once again.
Do you remember back when, like, in like when a show would come on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it had that little shoot, like the rainbow thing.
Yeah.
Insert animation here.
So the answer to the riddle is the horse is called Sunday.
We are going to start with the weekly affair.
The weekly affair.
Who wants to start?
Go for it.
Go for it. I've got paper once again.
Oh,
Look at me with my paper. This week,
I'm joking.
Okay.
Oh God.
This week I heard about this new language booklet that the Greenwich University has given to their students, and they want them to use this new language that will incorporate everybody. Like, you mustn't say my husband or my wife. You must try and be inclusive, and things like I have to read this.
Part of the reason why people get married.
Like things like awfully good is not allowed, because
Say
minority
awfully good.
groups is off limits, and they'll not know how to utilize that word, that phrase.
You say that anyway? What? This
like,
is not a problem.
You
to
should
people,
stop
whatever.
using not act upset when apologizing, as you put the burden of emotional support on the victim. You might
I
have
do
to
believe
say,
that, actually.
I gave birth to a male gendered person, as opposed to I gave birth to a boy or a girl.
What?
And the worst of it is about this is that it's not like we'll tell them this at the beginning of the semester or anything like that. They've actually produced a booklet to show the students what they want them to say and do at a time when they're telling us that universities are having problems with getting people into the universities at the moment because of international students are not coming over anymore because they're not allowed to bring a family member with them. So that's cutting back on a lot of university payments and things like that. It's like, why spend the money on a booklet to tell people how to approach other people when, if you're an ESOL, which is English is a special language, person, you've already got problems about how to talk to people. You've already got ways that you say things that everybody else might not say it or interpret it at that thing. So if somebody says to you something that you're going to have to defend, you're not going to make them emotionally upset about what you are saying sorry for. It's like, isn't that putting more strain on those students that have already got a problem with the language, already got a problem with writing a dissertation or writing, their whole student world down in proper English so that they can get through the course? They've now got to think about how to talk to people in a language that don't exist. It's not a language, you know what I mean? That is like a cumbersome way of doing things. And to actually have to read a booklet before you come into the uni.
They're going to let you use cumbersome, Mum.
Exactly. I know it's already. You know what I mean? It's like ridiculous. What do you do there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a bunch of nonsense, to be honest. I
don't
don't know how.
cares.
I don't know how they're going to enforce it.
That means that someone must have been offended by someone saying, "Oh, it's awfully good."
Awfully good, yeah.
And they're like, "No, so you don't speak to me that way." I am a common folk.
And I don't understand that.
I understand your bullshit about
the oxymoron.
It was probably the awfully nice. What was it? Awfully good.
Awfully, if you say awfully good.
So it's like, because it's the
But
oxymoron, they don't get
if you're a student, if you're a student that's always used that terminology, then how are you going to now rephrase your language?
Anyone who's speaking like awfully good are intertwining with people who are not speaking like awfully good. I don't understand where that is
from any culture that they're coming from.
And sometimes I do question what they're doing research on, because who's ever said, "Oh yeah, you know what? Let's evaluate language and how that's thinking," and we're like, okay, is there nothing else productive other like
that you could be putting the money into? That's
that
what I mean. Like, I don't know. It just goes to kind of.
Because you've got to say it's probably about 50,000 or something.
Who's worried about somebody saying, "Oh, my husband or my wife"? Like,
well, they're saying that
who is
LGBTQ has already
why is that
already covered that, so you don't need to say my husband or my wife anymore.
Why?
Because it's already covered in the LGBTQ.
How is that covered?
How is it covered? That this relationship that I'm having with the person.
The two are separate things. Like, it doesn't make like, how does me saying I am going on holiday with my husband offend Sally at work?
Yeah. Sally probably ain't never
hasn't got a
because she hasn't got a husband, or because she's gay. Like, I don't get it. Like, how does that offend her?
But the worst of it is
to settle for someone.
Yeah, but the worst of it is if you're going to say, "Oh, I'm sorry that I had to say my husband," you're going to have to say it in a way that it won't offend the person you're talking to. It won't make them emotional that you're apologising to them.
These Karens fucking cry at the drop of a hat, so how are you going to do that? Do you know what I mean?
I'm just going to remove myself from the thing. If you ever said to me, "Oh, well, I'm offended that you've referred to your husband as your husband," I'll be like, "Well, what's it got to do with you?" And if you're offended, I feel like you're gonna have a lot of low blows because I don't know if
shit's gonna happen in life. So if you're offended at that, then you need to
me saying what I have and what I refer to something
nothing to do with discriminating against them.
If you say the person is about 18 or 20, you've spent a lifetime saying things in a way that you say it, and then you're going to have to spend 3 years, because let's say you're in uni for 3 years, if you get past the first year in this case, you're going to have to spend 3 years trying to learn another language.
But I'm saying, like, okay, certain things are important for them. Like, there's certain words, people shouldn't be using, but I was just about to say, I'm going to just wrap it up
as like, good luck to all you people who are trying to get these words out, because we're still around. God knows how long past slavery, and we're still hearing daily basis. So
There you
that's
go.
fine.
Oh, you're not
what I
allowed to
mean.
say that. Right.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so until that shit is tackled, then I don't
Yeah,
want to hear about somebody
exactly.
saying my husband is upsetting somebody.
upsetting somebody.
I'm upset every time I hear that shit.
I
because
don't know.
And so
we're not
like I
whittling
said,
it out.
sometimes
So.
people only get married to say husband. Like gay
Yeah.
people fought for marriage so that they could say
Say husband or my wife.
Or my wife.
or my
yeah.
wife.
And now they
You know
can't
what I
say
mean? And now,
And now they
and now
can't
it's
say
like-
either.
it's
That doesn't
like-
make sense.
Yeah.
They can't go
That
to
does
university and say, you know what I mean? So anyway,
So
that's
your
my weekly.
affair.
What's yours? What's yours? Which one?
You want to go?
Don't know. Is yours like
Getting the phone.
kinky?
Mine's quite serious. So yours is usually quite jolly, isn't it?
That's why I tried to keep it.
Well, it's not probably as serious as either of you guys. So my weekly affairs is closing of libraries. It's actually making me a bit sad, to be fair.
That is a
It's been
pain.
happening, hasn't it?
They sent like a little form around saying, yeah, so how many libraries shall we close? I was like, hold on, where's the option to not close the libraries and make them more into centres where like you start doing play schemes again and actually making them into places that you have to go to? Yeah, like
the schools
as the
bring
schools
them down
go
there, yeah,
and
it's
you
true.
like it's like the nursery that B was at before. They would take them down
Yeah,
there.
they do.
But then I feel like that stuff stops at nursery. You're not
No.
well, I don't know
Schools
what kids
do
are
it as
going
well
on.
because as a ex-library person,
Yeah, like when
Schools,
they
the first
were
year
closing
in primary
libraries.
schools, yeah, they take them down.
Do they take them to the library?
Yeah, they do.
I
Well,
can't
they
think
should
of
have
my
done.
kids going to the library,
No,
to be honest.
they
Yeah,
No.
because we
They don't do
read,
it
They've got
anymore.
they've
We
got
actually read
libraries on
stories to
site.
them as
That's
well.
why
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
So, like,
usually
but
keep
then
all of it.
I feel like that's
in
where
house then,
it
don't
needs to be more of a place where, like, it's not just the books. Yes, that is also the reason that you go in there. Like, rather than having people just feel like,
It should be
you
a
know,
community
it's just on a
hub.
phone. Yeah, it's absolutely a community hub where you're reinforcing how to learn from a book.
Referencing
And how
like those
to
skills.
learn
But I
different
find-
cultures and stuff.
Yeah.
Because without a library, really, if you think about it, without a library, you will not get the opportunity to find something you was not otherwise gonna find. E.g., yeah, you've been assigned a book, you download the book, or however, or if it's in your school nursery, library, then you go in there, you have a little mooch around, you get the book, you enjoy it. But the amount of times I've been in a library and I'm just looking around and I see a story that I would not have, and it has been an amazing story about other cultures, like other, from like so many different backgrounds with different ideas, and the same ideas that you have that help you broaden on something. I feel like it's
which you couldn't have found it
it's
online because
yeah,
you, don't,
you couldn't,
you
because you're
can't
not
see
looking
several
for it.
different
Yeah,
books.
you're not like you. Even if you say, oh, okay, book about blah blah blah. A lot, like, you know, you don't judge a book by its cover, but a lot of the times you're drawn by something like a title or something that you're like, well, that actually
Or you'll
sounds
see an
interesting. Or
author
you
that
see a
you've read
blurb.
before, and you're like, oh gosh,
Like you
that's
said last
interesting.
week.
Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah.
And the feel of an actual book, because that is someone's art. That's how they're representing the thingy. You can read it online, but it is just words in a
It's
page.
just going to be
you know what I
one
mean?
book
But
that
yeah.
you're going to have privy to. And the other thing is, when it comes to library, I was talking about this to somebody today, actually, that for older people, libraries are very essential because, like, they may actually live alone. And when they go to a library, the only person that they've talked to probably in a couple of days is probably the person that's in a library.
Yeah, and it's warm.
Do you know what I mean?
And I know
And
that, yeah.
also with young children, they might be an only child, and that gives them a chance to actually intermingle with other children in the library, to see, you know, what another child looks like, or another child, especially if they don't go to a play group, or
I feel
they
like there's
don't want to.
if
They're
you've
not ready
got,
for school yet,
if
or
you
something.
feel like you know, this is where I'm saying that it's advertised as that outlet, because at this point in time, it's like you're saying, oh, okay, yeah, there's all these young people on the street doing knife crime and blah, 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 blah. Why are we not directing them to find themselves in a library where there's no negative for you to read these stories? If it's fiction or non-fiction, there is absolutely no negative for you sitting down and reading,
but this is
like
the thing,
stuff like that.
I agree.
And you're doing it in a safe environment. Do you get what I mean? And you're there able to share ideas. You're able to work on other stuff. You're able to broaden. Like, do you get what I mean? So to know that, like, they're looking to close that down,
choosing that as something to close down
instead of like promoting things that like are bullshit, basically. Do you get what I mean? You're willing to go and say stupidness. I know obviously that fell through, but you're willing to say, well, they have said, okay, we're just going to deduct money from old people, who you always do this at the beginning of winter as well. Deduct people from old people, and really it's just I feel like, just my personal opinion, is an overpopulation problem, that they're just like, wow, we just need to get rid of it however means necessary. We need to be taking people out, because there's no other reason than for you to say, and my man's just sitting up in
and then you put all that money into HS2 and now we're not having it. But where has all that money gone? Because it was billions. Do you know what I mean? Billions. And you're talking about, Conservatives was talking about, oh, we'll just make the train service a bit better. When will that happen? Because now we've got a Labour government. So couldn't the HS2 money go to community projects now? Do you know what I mean? What about that levelling up business that they were all chatting about once before? Do you know what I mean? So you've got very good points.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's what I was going to say. Like, our library is really good for that. Like, exactly what you're saying. And they'll get, like, even in the holidays, they get tutors in, and like they'll do like things,
the activity thing,
like actual tutors, like, and they'll come in and sit with the kids and they can ask them any questions like about homework that they might not know, because they understand that the parents are not always
English speaking. Some of them,
even if you're English speaking, some of the shit that they come home with, you're just like, what the hell, we didn't do like that, or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Ask your father.
They don't even grade it in the same way. So
and they're very welcoming to young people coming in, whereas there is other libraries that I've been to where the staff are very standoffish.
And this is what
they've got
saying.
like this like kind of entitlement and ownership over the library rather than being welcoming. So because that kind of does put some people off, I think.
From my point of view, I feel like where they've been there for so many years, they've seen the demographic of who they're catering for has changed, and with it, so has their attitude. Very much in like what you were just talking about. They're not helpful anymore. But then the people that would be likely good for a job like that, the council are not wanting to hire because they're not willing to have their image is still very much within areas they're trying to still adhere to a certain image. So the staff that they're hiring are in their likeness, but their likeness are not trying to cater for the people who are walking through the doors because they don't care. So the way that in which, like, on a bigger scale of things, to me, is that it's never gonna work whilst you're paying flipping Joe Blogs, who fucking does nothing but like sit on his arse and like points instructions at people and has meetings all day. If you're paying him big dollars but not paying the people who are raising kids and young adults and all of these people, you're paying them pittance, you're never gonna be representing the importance to the next generation, the importance of having those roles or learning those things. Because it's like, how are you going to promote, go on, be a teacher, and then it's like, well, on a teacher's salary, it's like, well, This is shit.
I'm gonna live.
I could go and do TikTok and I could go and do you know what I mean?
That is another point. Like, people are barely breaking even. Do you know what I mean?
True.
Like, before, back in the day, you know, like, if our wages had risen with inflation, we should be like on 100k a year.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because back in, like, when I was born, 20,000 you could buy a house.
Could buy a house.
Do you know what I mean? Now it's like
You can't.
phenomenal. Do you know what I mean?
Just said that they're going
it's
to put up to
absolutely
6 times your
phenomenal.
earnings.
So then, how can you afford to
making
live?
just people
You're
borrow.
literally just
But
affording
you're not
to
paying them
live,
anything
and then
for
it
it.
filters
But
down
the work
because, like,
load is
even like
higher.
with me, like, I'm a hairdresser, so I will feel it because hair is your extras. So where people might come for a monthly thing,
yeah.
now it's gone down to like.
2 or 3 months,
thing. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna try and stretch that colour out
Yeah,
because, or I'll do
yeah.
a home dye or whatever because now they can't afford. So it shuffles down to then
To
you know,
you
to me
and then
now.
to your
So now
children, then.
exactly. So you know, it's all effed.
Oh, sorry. Just on a,
Oh,
also on
sorry.
the weekly affair. Coming up, potential snow. Also, little life hack. Did you know if you wrap your bananas in foil at the ends, it makes them last longer? And I say this because I've went through like potentially like 8 bundles of bananas and probably had
What
some
if you,
bananas.
what's it? Because I had that recently, but I do what at the moment? I always just
fritters.
make banana fritters. Which banana fritters are a Jamaican.
So go for a drink while you're eating there.
My weekly affair is so this week there was there's a guy called Marcellus Williams in America, and he was executed the day before yesterday, the 24th of September. So he was arrested 20 years ago for the murder of this young woman, and he is innocent. I'm just gonna say he is innocent. So just so we know where this is going, it's an innocent man. He's sent to jail for the murder of this young woman, and throughout the whole of his thingy, obviously he was sentenced to death. So the whole trial went through, barely any evidence, but he was still found guilty and sentenced to death. So it's been going, the Innocence Project have been working with him for years and years and years, and then he finally got his date that his execution date the other day. So obviously all of these people have been still banding together to try and get it stopped, and there's just this, basically it's the state of Missouri, and I think it's the governor of Missouri. He could have stopped the execution, basically. Now, when I say this is not just everyday people that were petitioning for this dude, it is the prosecutor of the case. So the prosecutor of the case, I'm presuming people know, would be the actual state that bought the case originally. They are saying we've looked at all the evidence. It's not a thingy case. He needs to be set free. He needs to be set free. But at the very least, just take the death sentence off the thing. So that was them. Obviously, his defense team. Then we had the family of the victim.
Oh no.
The family of the victim said that they know it's not him. So just let the man go. Like, just don't proceed, and don't be proceeding in our name. Bless them for doing that. Because they don't have to. Do you know what I mean? But it shows the integrity of people. Do you know what I mean? So this guy, he is an imam. So he did his last interviews, and he basically was just stating that whatever happens, he gives it up to God, or to Allah, as he says, because whatever the outcome, it's God's will.
Right.
Do you know?
A little supplication that the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, he used to say, "Oh Allah, if life is good for me, then give me life. If death is good for me, then give me death." You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I say the same supplication. So yeah, I'm at peace, of course.
He's still using his voice and his case, and his case to try and shed light, because obviously this is happening all over, and he's not going to be the only one. There's still people that are known to be innocent on death row, and these states are still petitioning for them to be killed. And I believe the reason that Marcellus Williams especially was executed is because they didn't want the hell of a lawsuit that would have ensued if he was allowed to live and eventually be released. Obviously, there's going to be some kind of lawsuit that's going to be coming their way. These kind of things can cripple like statistics and stuff. Yeah,
and
exactly.
then they got him arrested again.
And it will be all of the cases that prosecutor bought
would
be then needed to be investigated.
also,
Like people will be pushing for their cases to also be investigated.
But
So
if the prosecutor
I believe
is
a lot
not
hung
against
on,
it, then it shouldn't even
on
be a
him
case.
being dead, basically. He's got an older son, and he is still speaking out in his name. Obviously, this is all very fresh, and bless him, he's, you know, still saying like, this is what my dad would have wanted, is for us to still be speaking out for the people that are still in this position. And what it proves is that America just
So they killed him.
are racist to the core. He died on the 24th of September. He was killed on the 24th of September. But yeah, it just proved the racism of America, because they always say with these death penalty cases especially, oh, it's for the family, it's for the family, it's for the family. Here you have a family, the prosecutor, the defense, everybody saying, so what are you're actually telling America?
I don't care.
We don't care. We just want the black men dead. Do you know what I mean? That's how it's coming across. Because what other reason?
But that's where I feel like it's whoever we want to do are doing. If you're not doing it how we want it, do you get what I mean? In the system that they've made, like, and that's where I say with like making a murderer, that's exactly what they did to him. Even when they released the guy, gave him all this money, they arrested him again. They said, you ain't gonna see $1 of that, and we're taking it back. You never watched that one?
No. Yeah, that was a white
real
man.
good one.
That was a white man, but he was trailer trash, and he had like
touched nothing. No one.
Nobody.
Literally, to himself. All the man wanted to do was sit in his. Even when they gave him millions, he just wanted to sit in his little
what
what did they arrest him for?
I can't remember.
It was a rape and
they said,
murder,
that was a rape and murder, and he like that whole thing. I feel like it was made a bit more poignant with the fact that it is this. Not that he was like a nobody, but this guy who's just sitting there in his trailer, trash sort of thing, white guy, nothing. We're going to get you. And they said that it's like, and this is what I'm saying with, if you can imagine, like me and Mr. were speaking about this the other day, if you can imagine all of our whole upbringing, like our upbringing is coming to a point where all we're now seeing, we've lived through the bullshit, believing it, and we are literally seeing in live time that bullshit falling apart to the point where if celebrities are here doing that, they didn't even make the law, they've been getting away with this shit. So there was already that in place before they made this Hollywood version of it. Do you get what I mean? All this patriarchy shit and this like going into ceremonial, all of that was already there. So they're like, this is how we make you the bad guy, regardless of who's on the other end of that. You are the bad guy. This is how we do it, and we do it. We felt threatened. Do you get what I mean? If we haven't shot you straight there when it happened, because we couldn't,
because we wanted you
kind of make sure
in prison for 20
out.
years.
Do you get what I mean?
Anyway.
And the same with how they've like started letting people out in England. It's only because we don't have the death penalty and stuff like that they can't just start killing off people in jail. Do you know what I mean?
But people's got to remember also that there is laws that most laws were made before black people was free, as they said, free indeed. But you know, I mean, there was laws that was made before black people were free. So the laws that we are living under was not made with black people in mind, and that's what black people don't realize is that you can be arrested under the law that the US has got, that a black man can be arrested, can be put in prison. Do you know what I mean? Because he has no rights.
That's what
He
I'm
already
saying.
has no rights.
It's not innocent.
So
until
it's not
proven
like
guilty at all.
that law has been re-established. That yes, they've got rights now. The law is still there, and everybody should know that a law can only be changed on person to person, but it never actually goes away until they go to the semantic of changing the actual law altogether. Otherwise, the law still stands. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. That is dreadful, Rhea.
No,
It
it's
is,
disgusting,
it is.
and it just goes again to show that
It's
it's
pitiful.
not, a justice system
it's
at
not.
all. It's just total injustice.
And the worst of it is what it was saying this week.
And anyone who
the
tells you
Johnson
otherwise
man
is making money off it.
was saying this week that we're talking about Camilla Harris, but she says that she cannot make a law decision on something just entirely for black people when they've made laws for LGBTQ, they've made laws for other scenarios in America, but you can't make a law for black people.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Where does that come from? You know, how does that run if it's not racist? How is that possible? You've made other laws for other people, you know what I mean? Even immigrants coming in the country, you've made a law that they can't be ostracized or whatever. So therefore that is not true, you know. So we know we're going into another situation whereby Obama did nothing for black people.
Okay, that's our weekly
You know,
like, wrap it up, Mom.
I can get
Bloody
there.
hell.
I'm telling you, I'm very, very emotive about
Yeah, we know.
laws and that, especially when it comes to black people in laws. But anyway, that's our weekly affair. So the dilemma is,
You have a sibling.
oh dear,
They have had a tumultuous. Okay, so let me just start this
he's
from the
already
beginning. So, and how far we've come, Rhea. It's 5 years ago. I had no idea what that word meant.
what?
So I watched Monsters.
Oh, you watched it all already?
Yeah,
Finished it?
yeah,
I watched the actual documentary, so I need
yeah.
to
That's it. That's the no, it's not.
No,
It's
no,
not.
this
I've
is the-
watched the
the
thing. Yeah, the actors
drama,
and stuff. Yeah. So watch that. Have you? You was alive and kicking and jiving
What's
around the
that?
time
twin
the
boys.
Menendez brothers
Oh,
killed their
yeah,
parents.
killed their parents.
Yeah.
And then they said, no, they didn't. And now they said, yes, they did.
Okay, so they said no, they didn't, and then at the time they were like, yeah, you did, and they were like, oh yeah, we did. But then obviously the biggest part is that
They were abused.
that they were abused, which
So was it self-defense?
I
as
feel
opposed to
like
murder?
when they did the whole monologue bit, I'm not going to say like go into anything too deep, but when they did the monologue bit, that's the part where I was like, I believe that it happened, sort of thing.
Oh, it happened.
So what's the...
No, I know
So
that
the dilemma.
the molestation happened, sort of thing. Sorry, yeah. So anyway, so it's stemming off that. Okay, you have a sibling. They have a tumultuous relationship with your parents. Your parents turn up murdered. Your sibling says it is not them, even though to your knowledge they were the last
Instantaneous.
person.
Sorry.
Your sibling says it is not them, even though to your knowledge they were the last person to see them, and they tell you that as well. The police come to you to tell them what you know. There is a large inheritance, so both of you will be looked at as prime suspects. Do you tell them?
That
Tell
you
them
think
what?
that it's your brother?
Do you
sister,
tell
that
them
he's
that
last
they were the
person.
last
Your
person
sibling.
to think it and they had a tumultuous relationship? Basically, are you
Do
going
you
and telling
spill
them?
your guts?
Yeah.
Nah, man, snitches get stitches.
You're next. There is
I don't
I
know.
haven't
like-
said how your relationship is with the sibling,
Yeah.
so you can gauge that.
Well,
however
I've
you
always
want.
presumed
there is
that
a,
we were ride or
what's it?
die. That's how I would be seeing it.
There is
so.
a inheritance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But then it's also the thing of, do you think that your sibling actually killed him?
Well, is that the dilemma, really?
That is.
Do you think that
Do you
you're-
like, so in that sense of, okay, yeah, so with the information you have, you know that, okay, you've had a conversation
telling
with
the
them,
truth.
like, did you do it? They said, no, I didn't do it. And like, whether you want to say you believe them or not, but then you also know that
they were
they were the last
person?
person to see them, and before them it was you. So if it was gonna be like, also, yeah, in the sense of the police are
gonna be me or
going to be
them.
looking at you and them, regardless how we've just spoke about with the justice system, regardless of what evidence they if they've got an idea in their mind that it's one of used here,
Yeah.
they will find evidence to make it one of used here. So if that is the case,
I ain't helping them to do their job. Is how I'm seeing it. So no.
so Ria's hitting no comment.
Yeah, I'm not.
What's your
helping them.
siblings there going? Yeah, was that real?
I mean, I've got to think that we're of the same integrity here. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
And if
I
if
think
they've
that's
got
one word when you talk about integrity.
yeah, no, but if they've got a tumultuous relationship with our parents, then we've probably got a tumultuous relationship with our parents. Is how I'm seeing it, because we've been ride or die. Do you know
No,
what I mean?
you don't have a problem with your parents.
You didn't say that in the dialogue.
sorry,
You're
sorry.
just flinging things.
I said
in here.
they had a
the child
tumultuous.
has, but
Yeah.
They had
you
a
didn't mention
tumultuous
you.
relationship with your parents, but
You didn't mention what ours was, so I'm putting in my.
okay. So with that part, you don't have a problem with your parents.
Well, even if
You're
I
actually
haven't got a
quite
problem with
upset
my
that they're
parents,
dead.
I'm thinking
They're
that
not
I'm not
fussed.
going to jump to the conclusion that my sibling has killed them just because.
But you're just saying this out of the fact that your sibling is amazing.
Oh well, yeah, there is that.
Yeah. So,
and your mom's got no money.
Oh shit!
no point
didn't
off for
say
that.
Life insurance.
Yeah.
Ria's like, hold on, let me just check real quick.
Listen, as long as you got enough for your funeral, I'm straight.
That's
I'm,
all I've
I'm
got,
all right.
actually.
I'm all right. Yeah. So yeah, what do you
no.
call it? I don't know. It's a difficult one. Then yeah, I'm not helping the police to do their job.
Okay.
Either way, I'm not
Either
helping
way.
the police. So if she ends up pinning it on me, then I know I have to know that my alibi is firm, doesn't it? Like there's no way that they can say that it's me. So it would be just about them proving whether or not it's her, and I would stick by my sister. I wouldn't
Regardless,
help the
when they
police.
do lock her up,
If
to do
it
the
comes
murder.
out that she did it, then obviously I'm gonna want to
Oh, you
know
know
why.
that she
I
might
want to.
You're gonna know why.
I want to.
You're not upset about your parents.
Of course, I'm a bit upset, but it's done, isn't it? I can't bring it back to life. But I want to know, like, what the hell? Why?
So
How did we
sister
get
gets
here?
it.
Like,
Okay,
if it's
fair
a
enough.
mental issue, or do you know what I mean? Like, did she snap? Like, there's stuff that there'd be questions. So
Understood.
then
And
I
I-
would be able to move forward with the grieving process.
Mm-hmm.
But I think logically, that's how logically, like this has ever happened or would ever happen. But yeah, I think that is how I would probably deal with it as a person.
I think I would actually offer the information if they ask me. If they ask me, I would say, well, yeah, she was the last person, but that's not presupposing that she'd done the murder.
Yeah, no.
No, I would
how you
say
get-
that she is the
See what
last.
I mean?
All I know is that she is the last person, and if she's got mental health problems, that would help her. In actual
Being
fact,
locked up.
and I could be the next person that she does kill, or somebody else might be the next person she kills, or something. So, to kill your parents is serious.
It's
so
quite common, I'm seeing
yeah,
recently.
well,
like,
if
a
to
lot
kill
of
your
people
parents
are
is
killing their
serious.
parents, but I
So,
feel like
but
it's
it is
a mental,
somebody-
mental.
yeah, but you've got to have a
snapping
mental
issue because
problem, unless they're
no,
abusing
because
you.
other ones are. Yes,
Done, like
sorry.
the Menendez brothers.
Yeah.
You know, like it did come to fore that, you know, that they were abused.
Well, and then I think
but
they
you
were mental
waited
by
to,
the end of
yeah,
it,
but
yeah.
you waited until you was in.
She was like 6.
You was
Exactly.
yeah, but you waited until you
So you
was
never
of an
quit.
age, of an older age,
to be able
to actually
fight
do
back,
it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To do it. So therefore, as I says, like that is still the child has now got a mental problem because of the abuse. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that that should not mean that my, you know, my sibling should not receive
Help.
sort of like a reason why they did it. Like even, what's the word, with circumstances,
the
extenuating circumstances and
mitigating.
And that would be the reason why I would say, if they ask me, you know, I'm not offering up any information, but
Yeah,
if
but
they
do all
ask
that
me,
at trial.
but if they did say,
Then at trial I'd
was
say
you
that
the
thing.
last person, I would
yeah.
say,
Ria's gonna
yes,
be
I
just
probably was the
held
last
in
person.
contempt.
No, not that thing. I wouldn't be saying all that, but I'd say like
you,
I would,
Judge.
like as a character witness, when it comes to the mitigating circumstances in terms of her sentencing, then I'd talk about all that stuff. But until she wanted to, or was
She's not gonna tell
if it
us
was
about
that,
it.
obviously we're basing it on that the fact that she was abused. Then, but if she was abused, definitely bond them.
No, we
fuck 'em
don't-
all, do you
we
know what I
don't
mean?
know
If it's
what
that,
relief is.
but if it's just like, oh, she didn't give me like a credit card, like you see on these murder documentaries, or oh, I wasn't going to school and I didn't want to tell them, so I've killed
Like
her
that
because-
young girl.
Do you know what I mean? Like you see
Yeah.
these ones, the
Yeah.
Chinese
Yeah.
girl on
Yeah.
Netflix. Did you see
And
that one?
no,
Like
and
you're
the
back in
young
that
girl
though.
that
Yeah,
went
okay.
in the room and shot her mum, just the sentence in her this week. You know, she shot her mum in America, and for no real reason.
That's what I
you
mean.
know
So
what
if
I
it's
mean?
stuff like that, then yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to do your time. But if it's like they've literally been systematically abused, then you know that there's
Yeah,
mental
that's a whole
issues
different
that's
thing,
gone
and
into
that's
that,
not
and-
in the dilemma. But
Yeah.
what would you do?
If I've got a good relationship with the sibling, then yeah, I'm backing you. If I don't, then I'm not. It's just that simple.
Cut and dry.
Yeah, because I feel like if I've got a good relationship with you, I genuinely feel like I'm a good sense of character regardless of your relationship to me. So if I haven't got a problem with the parents and all of a sudden you're murdered, they're murdered, then it's a case of, well, with everyone else, I'm trying to find out who murdered my parents. Do you get what I mean? So if then you need to go and investigate that sibling, go and investigate that sibling. Even if you need to go and investigate me to get me out of the way, go ahead and go and do that. Do you get what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, if you ain't got nothing to hide, just go ahead and do it. But then, like I said, with the law, I may just get myself arrested. Do you get what I mean? So I'm just,
Yeah, you have to make
if
that
I haven't
otherwise
got
tight,
anything to hide, I'm all go for.
You can't be saying, I was reading my book all night
Yeah,
in bed
do you get-
alone.
yeah.
That's not an alibi. So you have to make sure that day you had some busy day.
Yeah, do you get what I
You're
mean?
spotted on CCTV
Right,
here, there,
yeah.
here, there.
Exactly.
But
Phones
like,
ping
And
you.
that is too. What's it? That is.
I'm nowhere near my house, guys. my parents' house, guys. Not today.
and they'll be like, so why wasn't you by your parents' house?
It's unusual you would never go to your parents' house that day.
I love my parents.
This is when we knew she was lying.
Freeze.
The shoulders went in. The eyes.
Emotional outbursts and no tears were
Yeah.
shed. This is
Yeah.
how we knew she was lying.
And then off camera, you can see the sibling like.
I'm gonna tell her you bitch.
But yeah,
God.
so.
Okay.
But then if we're cool, and I'm like, yeah. Clearly, I don't understand what the beef was with you and the parents, but also you're a cool person, so I know that you genuinely, if you're saying that you haven't done it, you haven't done it. So, like, I'm not going to be out here to the police being
But
like,
the thing is,
oh yeah, he was there, he was the last person, blah, blah, blah.
You
I just
was the
said,
last person.
listen, I will tell you as much as I know about what I did that day.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? I ain't got nothing else to tell you about nothing else.
That's
No
what I'm
comment.
saying. If you're asking me,
Go and find out. She's
Ria's
did
gonna
you?
be
Was
jail.
you the last person? Was you the last person
No,
to
come on,
see?
Go and do your work.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Go do
yeah.
your job.
Do some
How's
work.
about you go do your job?
Sit
But that's probably because they've been doing their job. Why they know you was the last
feisty
person.
one in there.
They just want to
Yeah,
see.
no.
They just probably want
Get
to
me
see.
my lawyer. I'm not saying the goddamn word until I say this my lawyer. That's how they go on it.
Excuse me, man. We were just asking to get past. He doesn't. Don't talk to me without my lawyer
You
present.
just attacked me. I want to speak to your boss.
Where's your supervisor?
What's your badge number, sir?
I'll report you. I'm gonna get my mom down here
This
with
is
her
just
papers in her pants.
Literally.
You know, let's hope we don't get a notice this time.
Right.
Oh
Anyway.
God, you know.
And that was our dilemma.
And that was our dilemma. Now it is.
How much?
You've got a full house today.
Oh God, I didn't send my stuff to the chat.
dear.
Right, that's fine because I'm going to do my first anyway. How much do you think I got quoted for this dent on my car?
Where is the dent?
Yeah.
I think we need to make it big.
That's the dent.
That is the dent.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it like it scratched the paintwork off as well, or is that just
Yeah.
light?
Yeah. Paintwork's off as well.
Oh dear.
okay.
Oh, see, I can't even find it on this one. There.
Oh, okay.
I would say if it's going to be a full paint job,
No,
So
just
fix it.
repairing the dent. I'm not looking for painting.
I would say no more than 200. Or I should say no more than 200. I don't really think that it's worth 200 to but they've always got labour included, even if they only have to
Oh yeah. Do a little.
push it out.
And then it's like 250. Yeah. 250.
Well, actually, we had to go a
The
bit
part
further.
was £2.60.
Yeah,
One labour
yeah.
was £6,000.
Yeah, you know.
Alright.
So I'll say 200,
Yeah, I'll say 250.
250.
£280.
Wow. See, I told you.
That's
'Cause
all
it's
in
a new
all,
car as
all
well, isn't it?
for the
Do
dent.
you know? But they don't know that it's a new car.
Oh, that was just a quote.
Huh?
That was just a random quote.
No, but, oh yeah, because
I
you've
thought
got
you went down
the
there
veggies
and
has
Probably.
changed, isn't it?
yeah,
So-
they do know cars.
Yeah, no, obviously
They know
they
the
do
make.
know cars, but then in the sense of like, there's nothing that would say, unless you deep dive
They
into
know
the
What
car.
I know about cars.
Yeah.
But then
They
you
know
don't
that's a new
need
car.
you don't need to know the make and model of the car to take
Yeah,
the
to
dent
take the
out,
dent out,
is
yeah.
what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
So 280 is what
He was quoted.
I was
So how much
quoted.
did you get it done for?
£45.
So he
what I
went to the dent
mean?
doctor.
See what I mean?
You see, that's why Judge Judy says this.
And I even gave him an extra £5 because I was like, babe, fucking have it, alright? Because these scoundrels out here
I know.
chatting Pappuccino, 280. When you see the size of the dent, people, my God, you're going to cry, River.
You know, you can't even
Absolute
see, you can't want him to come up on screen.
Absolute
You know what I
madness.
mean?
So,
Shout out
do you want to
who
do yours
referred me.
next?
Black up.
Do you want to do
Who?
yours next?
Say it again, because we didn't hear.
I said just shout out to who referred me.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay.
They weren't getting a name.
Oh, I thought you were doing like a little name drop, like.
No.
Send him some more business.
Oh, like, no, shout out to the person who referred me to the place.
Okay.
But, like, no, we don't be giving out free advertisement. Like,
Yeah.
I appreciate you. And I don't want to have to go back to you one day and you talking about, like, oh, you know what, it's bare busy,
You know.
So I ain't even going to be able to get you in. I'm like, bitch.
Mm. Okay,
You go so
mine is.
expensive. It's like £300.
How do you know?
It's a Hermes belt.
It's a Hermes. It's not a Hermes. Oh yeah, it is actually.
It's a Hermes belt. It's like
Yeah.
300 and
Reversible.
something pounds.
It is reversible. Oh shit! You can
What?
see it.
Oh, Lord. You
Oh,
got
God.
the-
No, you didn't see it, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you did.
Did you see it?
I'm sticking at £300. I know
Okay.
how expensive they are.
Okay.
So it's a belt.
Yeah, it's a reversible. It's a reversible belt.
Okay. How does it reverse?
It is. It is a. What's it?
Turn it around.
You can have.
And then the H is the other way.
It has got other ways of using the buckle and turning the buckle round.
I think the buckle on the other side is just like a plain.
Okay. So one's a plain side and one's a H side.
Yeah, but it is a belt. After all, it's got leather.
Okay, so this is going to be expensive. I say maybe 550.
And you said
350.
okay.
Oh, 300.
It is 900 quid.
What? For a belt?
900 quid. Yeah.
Oh my days.
It's 38 millimeters.
Oh well. Well,
God forbid you're a 42.
you know what I mean?
They probably don't make it
Yeah,
in
let me
your
just
size.
find it on
They're
your-
like, you're fat. We don't want you.
you got
How's that
those?
cost?
Have you just sent it? Yeah, 900 quid. It's like, who's paying for all these
It's still
things?
not as bad as your candle.
Yeah, candle. It wasn't a candle. The worst one. 34,000 last week.
For which
The
one?
TP.
Yeah, but that was for the kids.
Okay, how much for this?
But sorry, your candle.
So it's
Oh, it's a 5
basically
mark.
the
Primary
kids
school.
Kids primary school thing.
Oh, fucking extortionate. £75.
cardigan.
Probably.
Then the next worse after Hermes.
I think that
So basically, it's the cardigan with the logo.
with the logo
With the-
on it.
With the logo,
With
my
the
gosh,
schools logo.
stitched in.
Stitched
Or is it
in
just
already.
Embroidered, yeah.
Oh, embroidered backside.
Clive Mark is
You're
really
looking like
going
a cool
to
mill.
it. Yeah, for real.
Literally.
Because we used to have to stitch them, right?
You don't gotta stitch it on. You used to get the little iron ones.
No, that
for
was
me,
for
yeah,
the
for
hem. The hem. I used to
For me,
hide. But
I
the
had
iron ones. I would say probably £30.
Yeah, I'm getting 37, 42, no, 37,
It's
37,
going
50.
Okay. No, it's not that high. It's $23.99. $23.99
for a cardigan.
fucking kids'
That's not going
cardigan.
to fit her
That-
next term.
That we are 2 frigging weeks into the term and one of our
Doesn't fit.
children has lost
Oh no.
already.
Well, why did you go to Georgia, Esther?
Yes, the name was on it. Some bloody dotty teeth has took it anyway, and they
Do you blame them?
rip that label
23
out.
quid. They
Yeah,
probably hasn't
take
even.
that one home. I said, go look in the lost property. I've looked and it's not in there.
How much did you say?
37.50.
Oh, okay.
That's probably the price of the blazer.
Yeah,
No,
blazers
it's
are
probably-
expensive.
See,
Actually.
because if they saw the badge on the blazer,
£28.
which is something else we used to have to do.
You just need to start getting.
So that was like what,
Yeah,
over
you need to
£10 a
get
week?
pattern, and you need to start
Friggin'
getting that
£10
material.
Literally, just get the stitch
Yeah.
pattern. Literally, don't have to.
Get Peggy to make you some cardigans because they don't fit them.
Just have one arm, like.
Two seasons in, even if
Can
they
I
don't
just
get
say,
lost.
kudos to Beanie's new nursery because they put all of the old uniforms
Is
that
that
people have
congratulations?
donated back. No. Once again, no free advertising here. Out from anyone who's donated the stuff back.
they have
And it was
decided
like
to do that.
£2, £3.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they do that in.
And that's good, actually. I
Just
think
got
that
him a
is
bit of
better.
pieces, like a little bit of pieces.
Clive Mark
plus-
must be really upset when they see things like that.
Once again, the staple shops that just don't go nowhere. Clive Mark, Holland and Barrett's, freaking
They've been
boots.
making
Yeah.
money.
And you're like, how are
every-
you still
every
making?
day they're
How
running
did you make it through COVID and your stores
Yeah,
humongous?
for real.
But then
That's
something
probably
like,
why they are
Top Shop.
expensive now.
because it was like these stores that were like always busy.
But then they're always out of stock, you know.
Yeah,
You
that's
got
true.
this, you
You
got
have to
that
get
now.
them as soon as
Have
they
to get
say
it ordered
it's in their shop.
I have to get it
You
ordered.
have to go, like as
Do you
Christmas
want
comes.
us to call you when they come?
Yeah, you know.
Well,
No.
obviously, I'm a fucking jumper, don't I?
Do you know?
Kids
I
still
went
going
out
to school.
I went out to try and get some maternity wear today.
What?
Not
Not for her.
If that was your way of dropping it in, I'm like, Lord have mercy.
Can you start with the disgust face?
What's it called? So yeah, for a friend.
That's what
And I had none in the shops. Not selling
You
the
have to buy it
dye.
online.
Nothing. Oh, it's all online. Oh, so basically saying just keep your fat ass in the house, and there's no
Yeah.
point you buying clothes anyway because no one's
We
seeing
don't wanna
you in them.
see ya. You're going to offend somebody with your
Exactly.
pregnant belly.
Oh God, can you imagine? Oh yeah,
Literally.
I'm a woman because
Yeah,
you can't say
I'm-
woman. It's
I'm a
deceased
pregnant woman.
I'm a pregnant
Not
woman,
if
and
you-
my
you
husband's at
finish
work.
it.
Oh,
my
Lord.
God!
Yeah,
And-
friggin'
And I'm having
shots fired!
And this
Boom, 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 boom.
an awfully great time.
Oh, shit! Oh, did she say awfully nice? Oh, God!
And I'm a student.
Oh, shit!
And I'm
No.
I've gone back to school.
And you're making me feel emotional. 'Cause
You can't cry.
you can't cry, Ria.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Do you know what I mean? No emotion. Oh,
You think
damn.
his life is a
I
joke?
should not have been pregnant.
Yeah.
I should not have been born a woman.
Never.
I should not have got married.
Oh my god.
Farcical.
So
Absolutely farcical.
now it's hey to congratulate.
Oh shit.
Is
You
it?
haven't got one of them.
No, I forgot.
Oh, damn.
You told me that you was
Oh,
up
Mrs.
there
I've got everything.
this way.
Actually, you know what? I have got to congratulate because I got
first.
a new
No.
addition to the family. His name's Duane.
Oh,
It's her plans.
I got a plant, yeah. It's called an acre.
It's called Duane.
We'll get dear sister to put up a picture so you can see him. He's glorious. He's beautiful.
It does look
His
beautiful,
leaves,
I've gotta say.
and he was free. Which anything
If you go and
that
check
I
out
get
the
for
prices,
free,
A
to
plant
me
is
is priceless.
yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I
but
did
he's
not do a plant
gorgeous.
once, and it was so expensive.
He is so gorgeous. Honestly, best thing.
And it
ever
has
did.
more than one leaf on it. And look how expensive mine was for the 3 leaf.
What?
Remember the one I done for it's how much?
Oh yes.
It was really expensive. It was
Absolutely.
70
No, but
quid
that
or
was
something.
humongous.
It was in the
though,
grants,
as well.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
But yeah,
But yeah.
absolutely
it
gorgeous.
is a lovely
Oh,
plant. I've got to admit, it might be my house soon.
It will not be my house. I said I'll take a picture and blow it up for her.
Wow. My congratulations goes to Amazon. And I don't want to give anybody any freebies.
No,
but
just give
Amazon sent me my book early, and it's the one for Afina Shakur. Afini Shakur. So I'll be putting it aside and waiting to read it.
Oh,
like I've done to a few
Lord.
books these days. But at least I've got it on time and before the time. But that's just one of the things that I am congratulating for. But
Ooh,
I'll
we
let
should
you-
start a book club.
you know, I can start a library soon. I'm not even joking, actually.
I think
Got
you're
quite a
gonna
few
have
books.
to because we ain't gonna
Because
have
I ain't
any
gonna have
soon.
one soon, you know what I mean?
It's gonna be like, oh, so when you booked in
And
to
the
go
rest
to
of it
Jackie's
is about
library.
libraries. Is that you used to have to pay for them. You might have to go back to that.
I think
But
you
anyway,
So I want to say congratulations to Ruby Jackson, who is a student midwife who's created an app called Melanatal. And basically, it's a new app to help raise awareness of the symptoms of maternal and neonatal conditions for black babies. So this is obviously comes off a report last year that found between 2019 and 2021, women from black ethnic backgrounds were 4 times more likely to die during pregnancy or immediately afterwards than a white woman. So this would be like, so basically the app is basically offering new mothers as well as doctors and nurses, which I think is basically the real crux of it, like visual guides and signs and symptoms of conditions including jaundice, preeclampsia and mastitis. Jackson noted that there was a lack of visual information that showed different conditions on black and brown skin. And it just reminded me of a guy in 2020, Chidiebere, and he went viral for creating this image of a black fetus in the womb. And he basically, he was a student doctor then, he's probably close to being qualified now. But he was a medical student that he noticed that I think it was only 5%, less than 5% of images in 4 of the medicine textbooks assigned to the top medical schools in the United States show dark skin. So imagine, so this is got a lot to do with why we're being misdiagnosed, because they don't see how these things present on dark skin. So he's started to do like his own illustration and textbooks, like I'll put some of them up as well, to show how like lupus, chickenpox, like even things like eczema and blisters and things like that, like because all images are thingy. So I just wanted to congratulate them both, because it is things like this, like we do need to kind of educate them ourselves, unfortunately. But I think when you're in pregnancy, like when you're actually in it, it's very hard to advocate for yourself, do you know what I mean? Because you've got a whole heap of shit going on in your mind, you might not be feeling great and that, and then you get to your appointments and suddenly like maybe all stuff goes out the window, you get a little bit bamboozled with whatever they want to tell you. So it's very important to have like things like this that you can kind of refer back to kind of like advocate for yourself, as you said, or bring somebody with you that can advocate
Or start
for you.
to create places where, with all that knowledge, that, you know, there is a place where it's predominantly black doctors that you can go to and start to just know that you then don't have to think of it as a second thing. Oh, has that been, because I think I've said on here before, when I had my C-section, and it was like kind of like, I think after the fact, where they were like, oh, because you're prone to having keloids, we sewed you up in a different way that will make that mark less less chance
prominent.
of that happening, and less prominent. And the way they did it was amazing, but that wasn't anything that I would have known to ask for. And the fact that they did it without having to ask, knowing about my needs as a black woman,
and that you
and identifying that, and knowing that I'm gonna go and do something that is above, not necessarily even above and beyond. It's just to make sure that you have the best outcome in this situation, to do that for you. It did mean a lot, sort of thing. And it, like, in terms of getting over that, like how Rhea said, that you're not thinking of those things in the time because you have a plan or an idea of how this is going to look, and by the end of it, you're just like, fuck,
most of it goes out the window,
fuck it completely. And you just, so to know that people who are of sound mind are still caring about you and advocating for you, and
right
knowing
way,
what your needs are personally for you, I think that's so important.
And that is it, because unfortunately it should be the doctor, it should be the clinicians, but unfortunately the stats show that it's not. Do you know what I mean? And those are the ones in the position of power, those are the ones that are going to be delivering the babies, those are the ones that are doing like the gynecological health for these women. So yeah, like as I said, kudos.
But as a person, I mean, like, not getting too serious, but as a person that's lost a child and could have been prevented within the first few months of pregnancy, you know, it is traumatic. It is a traumatic time for women. And we do need to be taken care of better, because, like, I was told at the end of the day, oh, we could have, if we'd have looked at it properly, we could have told you that this was going to be the case within the first few months. Now, that is not something that you want to hear at the end of 9 months. You want to hear that your child is crying because it's just been born and everything's okay. Do you know what I mean? Because you can see plenty of mothers around you that's got a healthy child, that's getting on with breastfeeding or something. You've got to live with the fact that your child didn't live, and you could have been prevented. So yeah, it is a very serious thought, and you know,
congratulations.
and it is a serious congratulations for introducing it, because there is a lot of people going through a traumatic time when it comes to when it
should be the happiest time. Obviously it's not always the happiest time,
obviously.
but it should, you know, these are the things that should be making it easier for you, because you're all over the place anyway, as we've discussed. Like, whether you're having a good pregnancy, whether you've got support, mentally you're still all over the place. So, you know, when you've got medical issues on top of that, you definitely, you know, this
good to see
act
somebody
could be actually life-saving. So congratulations, well done to Ruby. And I just wanted to also say congratulations to Shae Universe, because I was totally late to this and I don't know how, because I love Shae Universe, but she did a Tiny Desk concert and it was absolutely amazing. Me and Lee were sitting there in the kitchen, like, literally bawling, because, like, there's tunes of hers that we've, like, bumped from back in the day. So to see her, like, properly getting her flowers, like, in America and stuff like that, it's a black UK artist. She She's amazing. I'll send you some of her music. But she's coming to Birmingham on 17th of October, I think. So I am going. Guys, I'm going to need a babysitter because me and Leah are going together. So this is going to be our date night, hopefully. So yeah.
In October.
Your plans have got cancelled anytime I'm like,
I know, exactly. Yeah, sure.
You're like, oh no, we're not going to. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's just me.
It's not you. It's just life. So yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's what's it. So that's our
Riddle To End.
congratulate. This week's riddle is: what has a neck but no
A
head?
giraffe. A what?
What has a neck but no head?
A headless giraffe.
Bye. Don't
A penis.
comment. Ugh.